Hey everyone, Spectre with the Game Reactionist here, joined by Rorschach. And today, this is kind of an impromptu video. I was not expecting to make this video. This is sort of I guess you could say I have a bit of a bone to pick with Limited Run. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Limited Run, as I think many people do. I like some of the stuff they do, and I question some of their other decisions. But I mean, there's been some improvement over time with them. They've kind of shown that they can change in regards to feedback and criticism. So maybe this video will kind of help with that. Maybe this will be one small part of that. So, long story short, there's been a major change in PC physical games on Limited Run. And yes, there are Limited Run PC physical games. They've actually been doing physical PC games for a while now. I think they did like Chex Quest was like the first one, and that was like 4 or 5 plus years ago. And they've been steadily releasing a pretty good number and some actually really stellar PC physical releases. We've actually done probably our most recent unboxing of the channel for that was the Blood Limited Run, Blood Fresh Supply Limited Run, which I think we both actually really liked that. That was actually really cool, I think.
Oh, it was. It was. The bloody. What was it? The bloody mouse pad.
Was it? Yeah, that was a really cool. It was a cool touch.
That was something that stuck out for me. So
yeah,
so I've never heard of it. It was pretty cool.
But I think you remember also that the just the way that was presented to that box was like massive. That was like it was like this big. It was like over a foot tall. It was huge. I mean, it was just you got your money's worth out of that package. So, anyways, I did not put it off any longer. I guess what I want you to think about first before I show the problem, I can actually kind of just show the problem without even explaining it at first. Think in your head like, okay, if I'm buying a physical PC game, in this day and age, what should I get? And I'll kind of show off some of the different eras of PC physical games that we've gotten over the years, just for comparison's sake. And then I want you to let me know if you think this is reasonable for what they're charging, what they're trying to present. So first thing I have here is the classic big box PC game. And let me blow up my camera a little bit here so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that works. So this is the classic big box PC game. This was released in 1999. Most big box PC games were around this size. A lot of them were larger than this. So, I mean, you got a pretty decent size here.
Real quick, as an aside,
yeah.
Flight Simulator was around as far back as 1999?
It was actually much further back than this.
Really?
Yeah, okay. It goes back it goes back to I want to say the late 80s. So yeah, it's been around for a long, long time.
I thought the Microsoft simulators were within the last decade or so. But okay.
No, they're ancient. But anyways, and they're good. They're good, very good too. But besides the point, and so this is what you think of when you think of like a big box PC game. This was released in 1999. You get your money's worth out of it. This thing is heavy. This has a big book in it. It has a physical disc in it. You're getting your money's worth out of this, just when you grab it off the shelf. So this is what was the standard for most of the 90s into kind of the early 2000s. And then we had kind of a change. We went to the what I call the small box PC, or the standard size box PC. So here's an example of that. This is Resident Evil 4. This is actually kind of on the smaller side. Some of these were actually a little bit larger, slightly larger than this. But I mean, it's kind of like a roughly DVD size case, a little bit thicker, and heavier. But it is kind of, it's got some heft to it to some degree. Some of these actually were pretty heavy. Some of these actually were larger than this. And this was kind of the standard that you saw pretty much from the early 2000s up until the later 2000s. So, I mean, you're kind of getting, like I said, you're getting something that you can display on your shelf really well. You had discs inside of this. You had usually a bunch of, extra content as well, too. So you got your money's worth out of these. And then...
And just a quick question for Simulator 2000 and Resident Evil 4. Any recollection as to what those retailed originally? I'm assuming Resident Evil 4 is probably around $50.
I want to say they were both around 50.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So back in the day, both roughly around 50, maybe lower than that, depending if you got them on a sale or something. And then kind of the end of the line for PC before we kind of transition to the more all digital paradigm that we have now, even though we do have some physical, of course, was the standard DVD case. So very similar to like Xbox 360, very much same size as that, console style type of box here. It's just a standard DVD case box. Usually all you got in this was a disc, maybe an instruction manual, probably usually not an instruction manual. Usually they just had that on the disc as well. And I mean, this was kind of, a sad transition. I remember when this happened, but you still had something to display on a shelf. It was really no worse. It would no worse. Yeah, you got cover art. You were no worse off than console, really. I mean, this is pretty much what you got on 3. If anything, I actually kind of like these better because they don't have any kind of like graphic on them or anything like that. Like you don't have a big Xbox 360 logo up here or anything like that. So you had this. This was sort of the end of the line then for PC physical. You still got PC physical after this, but that's what we got. And then after that. We still get physical PC releases to this day, of course, through limited run, but also other companies do that as well, too. My recent unboxing, this is an example of a physical PC game from 2024. Now, go watch my unboxing of this. Is World of Warcraft War Within Collector's Edition. But this just goes to show that in 2024, you can still get a nice, very attractive, big box PC game. Sadly, there's no discs inside of this, but that's to be expected. This is an MMO. They don't. I mean, they could have put discs in it, but it just would have been kind of unnecessary, I guess. But very nice. This is heavy. This comes with a heavy art book. This comes with a pin, which was okay. But I mean, you get your money's worth out of this.
And what did this retail at? I'm gonna guess 150 maybe.
Yeah, but you have to remember that's misleading because this came with a statue as well too. So
okay,
if you had this in isolation, probably would have been between $80 to $100 is what they've gone for without the statue. So not too bad, especially with the quality you're getting out of this. So one more example before I'm kind of teasing the reveal here, but this was a release from Limited Run Games. This was about a year ago. An example of a small box PC game. And it's a little bit larger than like a regular small box PC game if you compare the two here. It's actually larger than a regular small box PC game at least in terms of thickness. And this was retailing for, let's see, I have this up here, $64.99. So a little bit steep, but I mean, this came with a flash drive. This came with a physical CD copy of the game. Came with a poster inside, a collectible pen, and a keychain as well too. So you kind of got your money's worth out of this. This displays nicely on a shelf. Like I said, it has the physical disc with it. So I think
great for game preservation.
Great for game preservation, especially for this one too. This was a game that was never actually really released in the 90s. It was developed in the 90s, but was never actually fully released until Limited Run came out with it. So it was kind of lost to history until they produced it. So I mean, I got my money's worth on this. I'm very happy with this. So let's go to what I just received the other day, and maybe you'll get an idea of why I've started the return process on it already.
Now, here's what I suggest real quick before you reveal.
Okay.
Tell us the game that you're going to be showing and tell us what you paid.
Sure. Okay. So here, I'll pull this up. You probably can't even see anything in the background here. I just realized my camera is still, taking up the whole screen here. But yeah, so anyway, so I got Colossal Cave, PC game. This is the reimagining, we'll call it a remake of a game concept that was back like in an ancient game concept from like the 1970s. So this is a remake essentially of that of a point and click game. So pretty cool. I was going to check it out, and I ordered the physical edition for $29.99 off of Limited Run. So pretty cheap, but I mean, what the website was showing here, all it really was just the game box with a flash drive, which a little bit disappointing for me. I wanted it to be a physical disc, but at least if it's a good game box of good art on it, I can always create a disc. That's not a big deal. I can always just burn a disc if I had to. If they're including a DRM-free copy of the game on a flash drive anyway, so that's a really easy thing to do. But anyways, let's get to the reveal. So I'm going to keep this up here for comparison. So this is what I received.
Jesus.
Now, keep in mind, this is their language, not mine. This is a deluxe premium edition box.
I'm looking at it on their website right now, too. It says PC Deluxe Edition USB with premium box. Includes
premium box.
On the USB, game executable, which stands for the code, Steam key or game executable, actually, maybe that, I don't know what that means. Steam key for
that's just the game.
Cave bundle? Okay. Documentaries, ebooks, wallpapers, audio, trailers, and more. Well, what's the more part? That looks like not much bigger than the box my wife's wedding ring came in.
It doesn't it look like it's like a piece of jewelry should be in this or something like that. This is not a game box. It's definitely not anyone's definition of a premium box. And I'll show what's actually in it here. There's not much to it. This is my unboxing.
Are there any graphics on the box when you take the slipcover off?
No.
Any kind of art?
No, it's just a black box. So
my standard black vinyls.
Yeah. So this is I won't show the code on it here because I want to return this. So you get a business card with a code on it for your Steam key, and then you get this little, like, it looks like they probably paid about 50 cents for this flash drive.
They got it from Best Buy.
Yeah, super cheap
Amazon.
flash drive. It has the logo of the game on it. That was that they engraved on it there. So. Or they stamped on it. So yeah, that's your $29.99 right there, and yeah, and your premium box here. So to address any criticism right away, you could say, well, it's $29.99. That's not a big deal. The game sells for $24.99 on Steam, so you're only paying like $5 for the box or so, right? Well, that's misleading because of course you have to pay for shipping. And that's also assuming that you're buying the game full price on Steam. You're not getting it from like a code site or whatever. So that's misleading already. And also, like I said, I don't see what is the value of this. This is not displayable. I mean, could you really put this on a shelf next to other like real games? I mean, look at this thing. It's dwarfed by everything else.
That's you put that. That's a jewelry box for your wife or your daughter when she gets older. I mean, that's it barely serves that purpose based on what I'm looking at.
It's puny. It's puny. It really is. Here, I'll put my camera back to normal here if I can actually get a hold of it here. But yeah, I mean, it's puny, right? There's like nothing to this, and I can't believe that they would actually charge that amount for because you have to factor in shipping as well too. Factor in tax and shipping and everything. I mean, it's just a joke.
Game. It's a $40 game at that point. And I looked on Limited Run. It looks like you could get the game as well for PlayStation 4, 5, and Nintendo Switch. And it looks like those versions. Now I don't know what the contents are on the inside, but those versions you're at least getting actual PS4, 5, and Switch cases.
You're getting an actual case, right? Yeah, you can actually put it on a shelf. You can, in the case of those, you can resell it if you wanted to. You're getting something for your money, and this is and the other thing I thought was very deceptive, and I mentioned this in my email to return it too, is it doesn't really indicate anywhere on here that this is a tiny little box. I mean, if anything, if you can still see the screen, right?
I can see the.
Okay.
Talking about the Limited Run website?
Yeah. Okay, it's about to say. Hopefully, it's still coming through. But yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it looks like it's a similar size to these other boxes here. I mean, it's just, I don't understand the. I mean, I'm sure it saved them some money. That's why they can make this a little bit cheaper. But I mean, who is this for? I mean, it's and also another thing too, storing games on a flash drive. I mean, that's about the worst way you can store a game. I mean, it's flash drives fail; they degrade over time, and especially this. I'm sure this is the cheapest flash drive they could find. That money can buy. So I mean, it's just. I mean, and you could say, well, it's DRM free. You could burn a disk off. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but it's like at that point, why do I even bother with Limited Run at all? What's the purpose of it here? What am I getting for it aside from this like little tiny, not I wasn't gonna say shoebox, it's not even a shoebox size thing. It's like this little tiny, like jewelry box, like your wedding ring size type of thing here. I don't understand the logic to this at all.
Yeah.
And it's so anyways, this is not an isolated incident. This seems to be the way limited run is going to be distributing PC games going forward. So if you look at, I actually had this game pre-ordered. I was actually looking forward to this. Clock Tower. This is the remake of Clock Tower.
PC
And
Micro.
yeah, you notice that. Yeah, so they
Yeah.
put the branding on it that says PC Micro. And now you think, okay, that makes sense. That you kind of get a better idea of the size of it. So yeah, but you didn't have that for Colossal Cave. So I think that was kind of deceptive of them to do that. So
I wonder if they got enough feedback on this game or maybe another game similar to it, and so that's why they have the branding on there now.
it might have, yeah. I mean, I couldn't really find much on the internet about it. I found like a Reddit thread or two where people were just basically bitching about it, essentially. Like, no one was happy with this. So, I mean,
Sure.
whatever feedback there is for it has been negative so far from what I've seen. Tamba, another one that I was actually considering too, also a PC micro box. So it's these little
Oh
tiny.
man, they definitely branded it. That's gotta be.
You see what I'm saying? Like, look
Yeah.
at this. Isn't that a little deceptive? Wouldn't you say that's misleading?
You know, at the very least, the language of it being a premium box would be misleading. If they would have said,
What's premium about this, right?
yeah, that's not premium. I think that's where the go back. Well, I have it up on my end. It was. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see here. Oh, god damn it, where'd it go? Oh, here. Yeah, the whole I mean, even calling it a deluxe edition. Oh, man, I don't know, dude.
Here,
Like,
I'm gonna put it next to World of Warcraft over here just to show how ridiculous it is.
yeah.
By comparison,
It just
both games released in the same year. Both of them are for 2024.
this isn't like a remaster of a game that previously came out. I can't remember if you mentioned
it is a remake of a game that previously came out.
Okay.
So, but still, I mean, this was there's no excuse for this. You tell me they can't just get like a basic, even a DVD case. I would have been happy with compared to what we got. I can't put this on a shelf. I can't display this at all. I will say there is maybe a silver lining here. I do have one game still pre-ordered with them. If we go over to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. So, this is a game that, if you look at the price point, $49.99, that would suggest to me that maybe we're getting a little bit more of an actual box here. Also, there's a poster inside of it with a booklet, so that lends me to believe that this is an actual full size, type of thing here. So hopefully that's the case. I'm gonna take my chances with it. Hopefully I don't have to return this because I like to get this. But I want an actual. I'm not being picky. All the other boxes I just showed, all the different incarnations of PC releases over the years, I'd be happy with any of those. I like big box. I like the smaller boxes as well too. I even am okay with a DVD case if there's maybe some extras with it or something. But to just give us these, I mean, this little, I don't even know what you would even call this. This is not a game box. This is definitely not a premium box. This is not worth your time shipping and handling or anything like that. I don't see any value to this at all. I don't get it. I can't believe they thought this was acceptable. And for the longest time, I just showed examples of limited run releasing games, PC games, the right way with physical discs. Blood actually came with a physical disc and a flash drive. It actually came with a special flash drive. Here, let me pull up Blood, actually. Go check out our unboxing of that. It's actually really, really cool. Blood, fresh supply.
Yeah,
This may seem like
to play devil's advocate. I don't disagree with your argument, and we've hinted at how I feel about PC gaming in general, and the impact that it has on game preservation. But to play devil's advocate, it looks like your Blood Dragon release, you'll get a proper release with that. I'm also seeing the Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition. That's looks like to still be available for pre-order. That one looks like you're going to be getting a lot of money's worth. Certainly a big box style release. I To play devil's advocate, I think it's a little
I don't think you're getting an
quick.
actual case for that one though.
Well, I
It
mean, it's
looks like
showing
it looks like a Steam code.
you're getting a Steam code, but you are getting extra collectibles with it. But it's okay. So like, this is where this is kind of issue you run into with PC releases, right? Like, Limited Run has done physical releases of PC games that they've released. I've witnessed that firsthand with your unboxing of games like Blood Fresh Supply. Looks like it's going to be the case for, or not that, but there were other games you have shown me. But it's kind of, I mean, it's going to sound harsh, but what do you expect? That's kind of what you get with the digital age, you know. And
I,
even
I'm
now,
okay
and
with.
now,
Not to interrupt, but I'm okay with, it doesn't have to be. I'm not saying it has to be blood every single time. It doesn't have to be as awesome as that was. That was almost like I said. The thing of that one, that was almost too much for blood. It was too big of a box. Like that's actually going to be hard for me to fit on a shelf. It's so
right.
big. So that's almost too much. But it doesn't have to be blood every time. I was happy with this. I was very
You just
happy.
want something proper to
I
display
want
in
something
that.
proper to display on a
Yeah.
shelf. And this, I mean, this checks all the, I mean, no pun intended, this checks all the boxes. It has a physical disc, it has a flash drive, it has some little extra knickknacks with it that are kind of cool and fit with the theme of the game. So I like this. This was actually really well done. And this was also kind of a remake, or not really a remake, but a release of a kind of a vaporware game. So I mean, and this was not all that long ago. This was 2021 or 2022. This was released. So I
Hmm.
mean, this was not all that long ago. Clearly, they can do it. And if they're putting out, if Far Cry Blood Dragon is what it appears to be, it looks like they can still put out big box productions. I just don't understand why they would go in this direction. It seems like it's kind of a pattern that they're sticking with now here
I
because
wonder if it has anything to do with their projection of that game's particular sale, right? So, like, they're probably thinking, Colossal Cave isn't going to sell us a whole lot of copies. We don't have to put a whole lot of R&D into its production. A game like Far Cry Blood Dragon, Far Cry having the storied history that it has, that they're probably thinking, yeah, this is going to sell at a $50 price point. This will sell. We're going to give this a proper release. I'm sure something like that came into play. Um,
Oh, I forgot about
Mainly.
this too. I think this is a pattern that's going to hold. Here's another one. So, Rise of the Triad, which is also, I mean, this is a game that's known for. This is a PC game. I
Mhm.
mean, this is known for being on PC. But it's also getting look at that label here. That ill omen here. PC Micro. So this is going to be another.
They had to have gotten complaints on Colossal Cave. I wonder if they've gotten a lot of refund requests on it too, and now they're doing the PC Micro. That's just
I
too convenient of timing.
Well, I hope that's the one thing we can do. If this video accomplishes nothing else, vote with your wallets here. And I think especially for PC, I'm very self aware. There's very few PC physical collectors out there. I'm very self aware of that. So if anything, our voting with our wallet is actually a lot more effective than it would be for a console release or a PlayStation 4 release or a Switch release. They might actually notice if 10, 20, 30% of people stop pre-ordering, that might actually make them think, huh, is this the direction we want to go forward in the future? People don't seem to like this. So
Hmm.
I did my part already. I canceled my pre-order for Clock Tower. I'll just get that game digitally then. I'll have to eventually. And then, or I might get that day one. We'll see. I might want to stream that. So I canceled Clock Tower, and I am in the process, fingers crossed, of returning this. And it's been an interrogation in my emails going back and forth. I almost,
Really?
yeah,
What are they asking?
Well, and that's kind of the weird. I just got another email actually right before we started doing this video. They were like, okay, they asked this, they always ask the standard question. We want to see, you know, the game and then the box that was shipped and everything, the shipper label. And I'm like, okay, here's pictures of that. And then they asked if, you know, can we see, you know, the seal on the game or the shrink wrap on the game. And I'm like, this is what you got. This is how it came. There was no shrink wrap. There was no seal.
What?
So this is how it came. I swear to God, this is exactly how it came. I didn't do an unboxing of it, but this is exactly how I got it within the box that it shipped in. It was wrapped in a little bit of bubble wrap, but there was no seal on it. There was no shrink wrap. It was just like this.
No sticker or anything.
No sticker, nothing. It just came right like this. Actually, the corner here was even a little bit damaged too. So this is exactly how it came. And I haven't used the Steam key. There's ways to check that. I have not used the Steam key. Right? I haven't touched anything in here. I'm just showing it right now. This is what I got. So wish me luck. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm out $29.99 at the end of the world, or you know, 35 or whatever it is with all the shipping and everything. So not the end of the world. I'm not gonna, you know, get any other games in this micro series now. But I mean, you're losing sales. You know, I would have gotten Rise of Triad. I would have gotten Tomba. I was definitely going to get Clock Tower because I had it pre-ordered. And you know, those are
sales. I am looking at Rise of Triad. It looks like if you got the collector's edition, you would have gotten a physical copy of the game because it comes with a lunchbox, and they called it the Ludicrous edition.
I see that here. I got it pulled up here. So, but once again, it looks like you see that if you look really close, look at that PC Micro.
Or is that supposed to be the soundtrack on the left? I'm looking at the jewel case.
That looks like that's got to be the soundtrack.
Okay.
Let me double check. Soundtrack.
Oh yeah. It even says soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's soundtrack. So I mean, cool stuff. Maybe I would have even gotten this version of it too, but you know, once again, I mean, you got to vote with your wallet here. I'm not going to support this. This is not a good, you know, representation of a physical PC game. I'm not expecting a big box every single time, but I'm just not seeing any effort. So your concern
with the physical representation is purely the box that it gets shipped in or the box that it's produced in. You're not concerned about the actual game's physicality. Like you would have accepted if you got a bigger box, you would have accepted the game being on a flash drive, or would you have still been looking for an actual disc? And that's your physical
No. I would have been looking for an actual disc as well too. Just okay. Like what we got for Blood and what we got for American Hero. There is an actual disc with a jewel case in here.
So your standard, just to be clear, would be, you know, at least a small box PC style game. You know,
this is my standard right here, basically. Yes.
Right. And then a physical disc.
Physical
disc.
What's
interesting too is I'm looking at this Ludicrous edition of the Rise of Triad. And in the banner in the upper right-hand corner of one of the marketing pictures on their website, it says pre-order from August 9th to September 8th. And then it says Forever Physical 2024. So I'm wondering if that's part of some campaign they're trying to run. Because
that's just their
business model.
Their business model. Their what's the word? Their slogan. That's what I want. The word I'm looking for. So yeah, no, Forever Physical is just their slogan.
But we wouldn't consider a flash drive to be physical, though, would we?
No. I mean, that's not good enough for me. I want to have an actual real box where I can. And hey, I'm not even the disc portion of it. I could see beyond that. I could always burn a disc if there is a. I mean, just at the bare minimum, I want a nice premium box with good art and. You know, I mean, a DRM-free copy of the game, that would be great. I mean, it should, you know, like I said, my gold standard is to have an actual disc in there as well, too. I think that's reasonable. Or like Blood, you know, you go all out and you have a really cool collector's edition with a lot of little extras and stuff like that. But I think this should be the bare minimum. I think they could sell this if they remove some of the knickknacks inside of it. They could have sold this for like $50 or so, and I would have been very happy with it still. You know, but I'm not happy with whatever we're getting now. This PC Micro stuff, and like I said, there's not a lot of buzz about it on the internet. I mean, I understand this is a very niche subject, But still, it is something that I've not seen. No one I could pull up that Reddit thread that I saw. There was like two of them. No one in that thread was like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever! Why didn't they do this before? This is fantastic. These are going to look great on my spice rack or whatever. What the hell will you even put this on? You can't put this on a shelf."
Well, I mean, it's
You
a
know?
matter of like truth in advertising too. Like you saw the advertisement as it being a deluxe edition and a premium box. Anybody with a subpar IQ would look at that and be like, "Oh, I'm going to be getting a nice product out of this, and I'm going to be getting it at a decent rate." You know, and the fact
Yeah,
that you got it in a what is the equivalent of a smaller jewelry box, I just that wouldn't fly by me. And if you're being interrogated and they want to know the shit, they want to see the original packaging, they want to see the shrink wrap on it, this that and it. It's like you guys know how you ship it, like
yeah. This is. I mean, the I guess the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing over there or something. But I mean, I
right.
thought I thought this was a reasonable deal. This is it's $29.99. I mean, really, all it was just going to be a box. Essentially, was what I was expecting. This one didn't even come with a it's most of what this came with is digital stuff, digital extras and wallpapers, etc. That's fine. I was okay buying this with the expectation that it was just going to be a flash drive. I figured, well, I can make my own. I can burn a disk, whatever. I don't care. I can just burn a disk, put it in here, with that it comes with a DRM free copy. I'll burn a disk, put it inside a nice box, and I effectively have a physical PC version of it. But I can't do anything with this. I can't put this on a shelf. I can't display this. This is useless to me. And if you're like, well, if you just wanted the game, if I just wanted the game, I could go on Steam right now and just get the game.
Or you could probably
Right
go to
here.
Green Man Gaming even and probably get it
Yeah, or
a little bit cheaper.
I could go to a key site and maybe get it cheap. I mean, it's I'm very disappointed in this. I mean, hopefully we've seen limited run course correct in the past. There was big problems before with their shipping. You used to have to wait literally years for things to ship out. They fixed that. They got their act together. There's been other things where they've gotten better too over time, but this is just another misstep by them, and I really hope that they hear some feedback on this. I hope they see some of these returns and cancellations, and they kind of scratch their heads and they're like, huh, maybe people aren't into this. I'm sure some people will be happy with this. They're like, whatever. I just want to have like a little thing that I can put on my desk or whatever. I mean, for some people that's totally fine, but for me, and I think for a lot of people that want to display, I mean, just look at like a room tour on YouTube. People want to display things on a shelf. I mean, this thing is just going to get. I mean, look at this thing next to a big box. I mean, it's like it's swallowed up by it. I mean, it's not even like you could actually fit this inside of here. I mean, like you could fit like four of these inside of this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. This is what we used to get. I mean, we got these huge giant things, and and back in the day, this did not cost all that much more than what we're getting here. I mean, it's. I think this is kind of ludicrous. Maybe I'm bitching and moaning over something that's very, very minor and trivial. This is the kind of problems that you want to have, but I mean, still, I think
Yeah, it's
I think you could.
definitely it's definitely a first world problem, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm very aware of that, but I think even you can agree as an outsider to the whole PC thing that this is kind of goofy. This is not acceptable, and I don't think I'm being unreasonable in asking for at least just give me a damn box, like a
I
real
mean, I'm
box.
looking I'm looking at it from like a purely game preservationist standpoint as well. Like me, fans of the channel may not know as well, but you and I certainly offline have debated ad nauseum about game preservation and what that means. And I am just forever against any form of digital release. I don't care if it comes on a USB drive or not. If I don't have an actual disc in hand where I can play the game in offline mode and not have to worry about being locked out of the game unless I'm connected to the internet or anything like that, I am purely against it. And there's one game coming out this month that's going to make me break that rule, and that's going to be Black
Black
Myth
Myth, right?
Wukong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's purely out of like, ironically, a separate principle that I have where I'm sick and tired of outside third parties trying to bully developers into spreading the message. And Black Myth, the developers of Black Myth, don't have any type of socio ideological messaging in their game. It's based off of an already pre-existing
It's like Chinese
mythos.
folklore, right? Myth, and
Yep,
yeah.
yep. And so, but because there's no like representation of specific demographics, there's a campaign to try to get the game canceled, essentially. So that's an example of, I'm going to vote with my wallet. I'm going to give these developers my $70, not only to play the game, but to support them, to make it known that people like us are still out there who support good video games without any sort of messaging. That's where I'm willing to break my rule. And then if they so happen to do the Alan Wake 2 thing, where they do a physical release, 6 months, a year later down the road, they're gonna get my money twice then. But in this case, like, there's nothing to be preserved with this. I mean,
I think the
there's
worst thing
nothing.
about this too, and I think you probably agree with me. I think you would be. I think this copy here of American Hero, this checks all your boxes. This meets your criteria and
My
my
personal,
criteria.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
because it has a disc that you can play. You don't need to be online. It's DRM free. You can pop
yep,
this disc into a disc drive and play it completely offline, and
yep.
you can play this forever. The only thing I'm going to do to this is I'm probably going to make an archive copy of that disc eventually, so that it's really going to last forever. Because I'm sure they probably used the cheapest disc they could find to put it on there. But with this right here, I can't do anything with this. This is, I mean, yeah, I guess it has a DRM free copy of the game, so there's something there. But I mean, I can't. There's
There's
no
nothing to be preserved with that, man. That
a,
falls off a high enough shelf, and then the box is ruined.
and it's a
You
flash
know,
drive. A flash drive is like I mean, flash drives fail all the time. This is a cheap flash drive that they use. It's probably cost them pennies on the dollar for this thing, compared to like a regular, traditional flash drive. It's cheapest. It's a cheap flash drive. I mean, it's just not going to last. This is not how you would preserve a game. It's not how you would even display a game on a shelf. It's just this. Like I said, I've said all I could say
it's
about this.
trash.
It's
It's
trash. It
trash.
really is.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
30. It's $30 trash.
I can't wait to return it. Like I said, hopefully they don't give me any more grievance over at this point. I wish they shouldn't. It's $29.99. It's not like I'm trying to return.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to return some $250
collector's
collector's
edition.
edition or something. It's $30. Just take the return. Admit that you goofed a little bit on how you presented this on your
You
website
big
here.
goofs. You
You
big
done
goof.
goofed. I mean, clearly they course corrected here, because I don't think they put this. Where is it here? The PC Micro thing is not there by accident.
And you've shown enough titles. You've shown at least 3 separate titles that has it now. It's got to be related.
Yeah, look
Call
at
me a
that.
conspiracy.
It's
Call
on
me a
both sides of the
conspiracy
box.
theorist. Call me
You
a
know.
conspiracy theorist, but that's got to be related.
Yeah, I think probably that was a backroom conversation at Limited Run. They were like, "Hey, maybe we should mention that this is not going to be a full size box. People might be kind of they might be a little perturbed by that." So, but yeah, well, long and short of it is this has probably gone on too long already. But the message here is vote with your wallet, especially on PC here. I think we can actually make a little bit of an impact. But let me know in the comments. Am I completely insane? Am I going off the deep end here? Am I expecting way too much? Should I just should I shut up and just not get it or whatever and just move on with my life or whatever? I mean, because I would like to. I'd like to see them fix this. I'd like to see them go back to something like what we've seen before from them, which we know they can do. And I'm happy paying. It's not even about money, too. I'm happy paying, a little bit higher for that to get a quality box and product that I can have on a shelf and have there for decades and pick it back up off the shelf and play it down the road if I want to. It's I think I'm not being unreasonable with that. But let me know. Sound off in the comments about it. And yeah, I guess any other thoughts that you want to contribute to it here.
No, I mean I'm in agreement with you. I think I'm a stricter game preservationist than you are. Where Black Myth aside, if there's no physical copy to be had with it at all, then I mess with it at all. But I think your complaints are valid. Whether it's a $30 game or a $300 game, it really doesn't matter. If you have, first off, you have the advertising issue, right? Like that's, and regardless of what should or should not be it was advertised to you a certain way. It's on their website. It's still on their website that way, mind you.
Premium
And with
box. I'm fixated on those
it's
words.
just
Premium box.
it's just it's there's no truth in advertising there, in my opinion. Like, I would think there would be a lawsuit that could come out of this. You know, if
I could
people
be a millionaire.
really,
Yeah.
if well, I don't know about that. But I mean, you know, enough people, if they wanted to really be dicks to limited run about it, gather around and do a class action lawsuit. I think you would have a case, or at the very least,
And
be
you know
entertained
what's
by
even more,
dragging them.
what's even more, not to cut it off even, but what's even more ridiculous about this too, they said this is a premium box. This is their words, a premium box. It's still on their website right as we speak right now as we record this video. So what is the difference between this box and I see Tomba here, which looks like it's exactly the same, but it's not a premium box. I don't see
It's a
any
PC Micro.
it's a PC Micro. I don't see any language on here that says it's premium. Is it because this is a slipcase? I mean, is that why? I don't understand. Why is this a premium box and that is just a box? I don't understand that. You know, I mean, it sounds like we're arguing semantics here, but I think somebody screwed up on this, and they thought no one would notice, and here I am. You know, here we are complaining about it. So. But yeah, so hopefully, but yeah, long and short of this is we'll wrap this up here. Like I said, canceled my other pre-order. I got my money back for that. That's the other thing to keep in mind. Limited run charges you right away. So if you do have something pre-ordered, get your money back as quick as you can there. If you want to, if you're like me, are concerned about this at all, and hopefully I can return this. Like I said, worst case scenario, I'm out $30 on this. But but yeah, anyways, let us know what you think in the comments. I'm sure this is the most, you might think this is the most ridiculous thing in the world to complain about, but I've seen people complain about weirder things online here, so that's totally fine. Definitely go ahead, give us a sub, give us a like. You know, we're like just spitting distance away from 100 subs. We really want to do a 100 sub video. I got a plan for that in motion, so please help us get over that line, and then we won't have to really. Well, I guess we will keep asking for after that too. But I mean, it's.
Oh, we're gonna keep bugging you guys. Hit the notification bell. Do everything
until we get that 100,000 sub plaque thing. We gotta get that.
Yep.
You know? So, yeah. but yeah, thanks so much for watching. Once again, I am Spectre with the Game Reactionist. We had Rorschach here for commentary as well too, and. Yeah, Limited Run. If anybody from Limited Run or knows anybody at Limited Run, you know, direct them to this video, or at least tell them, hey, you know, you can do better than this. And I've given examples here of how you can do better than this. You know, this is not appealing to us. I don't know who this appeals to. Really, honestly, like I couldn't even say like who this is even appealing to. This is just not acceptable. But
hot garbage.
Hot garbage. But yeah. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and cancel your pre-order.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.